Haldol, the controversial antipsychotic. As the sun rose over the California medical facility, casting a golden hue over the towering walls, Andrei's resolve remained unyielding. His fight for justice had become a beacon of hope for many within the facility, but there was still much work to be done. Among the many challenges he faced, one medication stood out: Haldol. Haldol, the controversial antipsychotic, was a name whispered in hushed tones among the inmates. Its effects were well known, its reputation tarnished by stories of its potent sedative properties and long list of side effects. Andrei had seen firsthand the toll it took on those forced to take it without consent. The story of Haldol was one of complexity and controversy. Developed in the 1950s, it was hailed as a breakthrough in the treatment of schizophrenia and other psychotic disorders. However, its use soon extended beyond these conditions, finding its way into the arsenal of drugs used to manage behavior in institutional settings, like the California medical facility. For many, Haldol was a double-edged sword. While it could effectively manage symptoms of psychosis, its side effects were notorious. Extrapyramidal symptoms, including tremors, rigidity, and involuntary movements, were common. Andrei had seen inmates struggle with these effects, their bodies betraying them under the influence of the drug. But perhaps the most troubling aspect of Haldol was its use without consent. Inmates, already stripped of their freedom, found themselves further disempowered by the administration of a medication they had not chosen. Andrei had heard countless stories of individuals who felt their minds slipping away under the influence of Haldol, their voices silenced by a drug they never wanted. As Andrei continued his advocacy work, he encountered more stories that reinforced his resolve. He met inmates who had been on Haldol for years, their bodies bearing the marks of its long-term use. He listened to their struggles, their hopes for a day when they could make their own choices about their treatment. But as Andrei's efforts gained traction, so did the resistance. The authorities, wary of his growing influence, sought to silence him. Yet Andrei remained undeterred. He knew that the fight for justice was not an easy one, but it was a fight worth fighting. And so, amidst the towering walls of the California medical facility, Andrei's voice continued to echo. His advocacy work became a symbol of hope for those whose voices had been silenced by the involuntary use of medications like Haldol. As the sun set on another day, casting long shadows across the facility, Andrei knew that his fight was far from over. But with each passing day, he was one step closer to bringing about change.